I started doing stunts. I was in the movie industry doing stunts. But nowadays, you only get hired for stunts in the stunt industry in Los Angeles, basically through Facebook. I have a lot of pro-Trump posts and stuff like that when I started, being a Trump supporter. Um, and then I stopped getting callbacks. I stopped, they pretty much blacklisted me.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm super happy to be here with my next guest. Unfortunately, it's not for great reasons. We are trying to highlight some issues, as you may have seen on my channel, about censorship and what big tech is doing to conservative voices. So from that's the point, I'd like to introduce you guys to Brandon. Brandon, if you want to just give a little 1-2 about, how you got your starts in all this and, where you're at now.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me on. First and foremost, I hope everybody's hitting that like button, share, and subscribe right now. If you're not, what are you doing with your life?
You're definitely a
But I'm
YouTuber. I love
Brandon.
it.
Yeah, no, I'm Brandon. I run a independent media channel, conservative independent media channel out in Los Angeles. I started my channel on YouTube 2019, around like March, April, and within the year, Lord willing, it blew up. Within, I got gained 163,000 subscribers. I put out content where I go out and I interview people, man, on the street, and try to have civil discourses and talk with the other side to bridge a gap, and also to expose the double standard and hypocrisy and the lies and the deceit that the left has. So I go out there, I try to be an encouragement to other people. I'm not your average conservative either. I don't take, I don't, excuse my language, but I don't take shit from, I'm not that kind of cat. I don't disrespect people, so I don't take disrespect, and I'll put and I check people immediately with the foolishness. And yeah, I'm known to, defend myself. And I fought Antifa from here to Portland to DC to,
Mm.
and it's I don't know. For me, it's just I want my channel to be a beacon of light or encouragement to let people know that it's okay to represent and wear a MAGA hat and go out and stand up for what you stand for and not be in fear. So
Yeah, I'm
that's the point.
curious to know before we dive into a little bit what's happening to your channel now. What's the scene like out in California? Is it as wild as you're seeing in these viral Instagram videos where people are fighting Antifa left and right, or is that kind of just the highlight reel of everything?
Um, I'd say it's getting more so that to be the norm
Mm,
than it was from, like, let's say, last year.
right.
After I fought Antifa in Huntington Beach and beat them all like six on one and beat the hell out of them, they stopped showing up for a while in Southern Cal.
Oh wow. So I have there's some questions that some people would kind of ask me, people who are more so on the left that may not necessarily be in the fray about politics, but they just know kind of the highlight reel, if you will, but they're just kind of lefties by nature, right? Because of our culture. A lot of them see these fights that happen between Antifa and Trump supporters or anybody on the left and Trump supporters, and then they say, well, Trump supporters are the one instigating this, they're out here, rallying or whatever, and they're insinuating violence, and so people are pushing back against them. What do you have to say to somebody that maybe thinks that way? Because that's a critique I've gotten of the right a lot, actually.
Well, I could tell you this: that's only coming from people who ain't out there on the streets.
Mm.
So what they say is irrelevant to me, because at the end of the day, I'm out there on the front lines, on the streets, discussing with both sides, with both parties, and seeing how it moves. So anybody to say that it's Trump supporters that are creating it or anything like that is just simply lack of experience or knowledge,
Mm.
and they're just feeding in, and they're not thinking for themselves and going to um, do their due diligence or their research, or look into what it is that they're going to be repeating. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because people are like
it's funny
sponges
because
nowadays.
people that I talk to, they're very well educated, as far as classically educated, right? They've gone to Ivy League schools. They live in the city, in New York City, because I'm in Jersey, and a lot of them, believe it or not, have no idea who Antifa even is. Now, I've been following Antifa since like 2014, 2015, with when Tommy Robinson was getting beat up in the street by these guys, and it's just astonishing to see these super high trained leftists who have no idea what's going on the actual ground. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, they're full of it. They're only in it for the clicks, the views.
Mm,
They don't have any. Listen, they could have went and had the highest degree in any subject, that will never top experience.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? You can learn whatever you want in the books. You can sound as fancy as you want. Fact is, we're out here in these streets. We see what's really going on because we the people are the ones who matter. So I go out there and cover the people. You
Right.
know, the politicians and all them. They're nothing. See what I'm saying? They haven't been doing anything for us anyway. Both sides, Republican
Right.
or conservative or Democrat,
Right.
left or
Yeah,
right, doesn't matter. They're both.
that's such a great point because one of the things that I'm seeing nowadays is with this patriot movement is the pushback towards the Republican establishment saying like we don't want your crap either, so don't test us, you know, and there's a level of authenticity that we're trying to hold these politicians to because they've been in DC for decades, you know, taking their huge salaries and I think we're doing a better job I'd say today than we were a year ago of criticizing actual politicians left or right, and making sure we hold them accountable to what they're doing and what their job is supposed to be. How do you feel
Well,
about that?
I think first and foremost the people, America, the spirit of America, the spirit of God, it's waking up in the people, and we're starting to realize what our freedoms are, starting to really pay attention to what is going on around us in your surroundings politically, because it's affecting everybody on their daily. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So, um, I think that we're waking up and people are caring more about the Constitution, and now we're like, hey, listen, this is America. This is what we've been doing. This is how we became the greatest country on earth. Now it doesn't matter what side you are, right or left. If you're not abiding by those constitutional guidelines, by respecting our freedoms and what our country was founded on, then you need to get out of there, and we're going to put you in check. And that's what we need to do, right or left. Like I said, doesn't matter. If this was another country, the people are literally dragging politicians out into the streets and dragging them behind cars
right.
and beating the hell out of them and throwing them in trash cans and rolling them down the street. Like, that's the type of shit that we're about to get to. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like this is the thing, is that politicians aren't in fear, and they just see that the American people just lay down and just take it, and it's just all about the news because they have the mainstream media pushing all this shit to make it normalized,
Right.
and that's not it. And I think that we're having a lot of people wake up, and a lot of people are fucking starting to, excuse my language, a lot of people are starting to get pissed, and
So
and
let me ask you this then along those lines because I think it's a really interesting topic. And particularly for me being on the right but also a Christian, I identify first and foremost as a Christian. But where do you see this leading to as far as violence goes? Do you see this being something that's absolutely going to come down to like boots on the ground, people going head to head, or do you see this being taken care of diplomatically somehow?
well, we pray for the latter
Hmm.
and prepare for the first, and prepare for what you said at first, man, because this country wasn't founded on rainbows and unicorns, baby. The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants.
Mm,
So we pray that doesn't happen. Being a Christian, believing in Christ, believing and knowing that Jesus died for our sins, and knowing that He forget, you know what I mean, and knowing that makes you humble, but at the same time, you have to be as ferocious as a lion, bro.
right.
There's a time and place where evil has to be combated, and we
Absolutely.
have to stand up against it, because if we allow it to just go on, we're no better.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree. I do think that I do think we have a little bit of time left before we get to that place, but I do think I agree with you. We have to prepare and we have to be wise when it comes down to the possibilities of where things could end up going.
If they put Biden in the White House, that's where it's going to go.
Yeah.
The election was completely, like, clearly stolen.
Yeah. So
Clearly,
so
so much
there's something
precedent,
that's
bro.
happening and I want to streamline this into what's going on with your YouTube channel because you brought that up.
Yeah.
YouTube made an announcement through an email, I think yesterday, talking about how they're going to start taking down content that talks about the president elect getting elected through some sort of voter fraud or some statistical glitches. So now they're going to start removing content and even removing news if they don't deem it worthy. So the exact verbiage is something like news that isn't creative enough, or documentary style, or that doesn't hold enough context. So all of this is kind of leading to your point down an avenue that's going to leave people with no way to express themselves in the public square, and is going to force some sort of reaction from people who are patriotic, from people who do believe in the Constitution. Tell me about your experience with censorship and what's been going on, how it started, what got you censored. Let's see if we can get me banned too.
So originally, they gave me my first strike for a video that I posted in Arizona. Um, and it was at the Tucson Trump rally
Mm.
before the election, and I was out there interviewing the people. Put a great Trump tribute video together. I mean, fantastic video. You can see it on my website at that's the point with Brandon.com also. But they gave me a strike for that, for saying that my video may lead people to go against the World Health Organization guidelines of social distancing and wearing a mask.
This is because there was footage of people that
Actually,
weren't.
that was my second strike. The first strike was when it was like a while ago, about some other video, about like it was a fight video or something like that.
Okay, so that was like
But so this was my
violence.
yeah, yeah, it was some stupid shit. But this one they did it for that reason.
So the
And
reason
then
the reason was because there was footage in your video of people not socially distancing or wearing masks.
something like that. They didn't give a specific reason, but they said that it may lead people to disobey the World Health Organization guidelines and
Wow.
local health authorities on social distancing.
See, that's incredible
I
to
didn't
me.
when did this become North Korea?
Right, right. What's incredible to me is that it's very specific and very specifically targeted towards conservatives and conservative ideas. Because
Only.
if you were to look at the things that, like, the what was it, the mayor of Chicago, I think she was at some big rally when Biden got elected, president elect. She was out there with no mask in a crowd of people screaming and yelling, and that was all over the news. And nobody said anything about it. I think the biggest rebuttal was like, oh, I got tested, and everything was safe. It was something like that. But yeah, it's astonishing that the double standard that's happening now, and I'm noticing it more and more. It's the one that gets to me, and I don't know how you feel about this, is the pro-life censorship, right? Any content that has to do with anything pro-life is getting just completely just taken down almost instantly.
Yeah, no, it does. Like, it's funny because I've been dealing with this for the past year and a half.
Okay.
The censorship, I've been dealing with it the whole time.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like I said, only through the grace of God did my channel get to be as big as it did before they try to take it down.
Right.
And for some reason, I was just ducking and dodging. Like I was, but none of my pro stuff, my pro life stuff, to be honest with you, never really got in. I never had any backlash for it, like as far as censorship or anything like that.
Mm.
The only censorship I ever got is when it got to the Russian collusion, like the meddling. Russian, Facebook deleted my account for posting all the information on how the Democrats lied about the Russian collusion, how it was actually them. You know what
Interesting.
I mean?
Yeah.
And so w- w- you have to understand, their goal is like, they're all about killing babies, bro. Like, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
one of their main things.
It's true.
And I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. The facts are there, the evidence is there. They want to push for abortions because you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And if you look, all the abortions are where they're in the hood.
They're in the inner city. Yeah, for sure.
They're in the hood.
Yep.
They're in the hood, and
Yeah.
they encourage it.
It's true. So it's crazy. It's crazy. What I'm trying to piece it together, right? Because like I've been in digital marketing for 10 years. So when the Instagram algorithm first came out, I was the one that was kind of on the scene trying to figure out the inner workings of it and piece it together. So I still try and do that a little bit. What metrics are they using in order to censor things? Are they doing it, or do they have a set group of ideals and they're censoring everything that contradicts that? Or is it what's it called, like a trend thing? So like, because the trend is the election, then if you talk about Russia, you're going to get censored. But if the trend is the women's march, then if you talk about being pro-life, boom, it gets censored. So depending on the
Right. It
season.
just, depending on the topic, depending on the trend.
Right.
Exactly right.
Yeah, so
It depends
I'm
on the trend.
thinking that's what
Like
it's
like
more
for
like.
instance, right now, Twitter and Facebook, they're banning anything or in YouTube, they're banning anything that goes against the election.
Hmm.
But it's all fucking evidence of fraud. See what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Like, it's all evidence of fraud, like
Yeah.
real evidence, and yet it's being censored. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
They're not for the American people. They're for the agenda. They're
Right.
bought out. They're paid. Like there's no reason to like for me at this point, it's like, okay, we know this, you know what I mean? What are we gonna do? What do we have to do? We have to stop using the fucking platforms. That's
Right.
it. Look
Right.
for other platforms. I know people are uncomfortable with that, but it's true.
Well,
You have to find another platform.
my argument for that is we should definitely be diversifying platforms, which is the way I look at it, right? We shouldn't be solely dependent on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and all of these. But the reasoning that I want to stay and fight for these platforms is because they've become bigger than companies. They've become bigger than corporations. They're now these cronyist kind of things that are linked to the Democrat Party. And because
Right.
of that, they're controlling the entire public square. So even if all
Right.
conservatives leave and go to another platform, now it's just the mainstream has zero conservatism and zero conservative point of views, and that worries me because
Point me where the conservative point of views are in mainstream right now anyway.
well, at the very least, we do have our corner of the internet when it comes to Facebook, Instagram, and all of these, and
Where
Twitter
at?
even.
Where at?
I
Because
mean, it's becoming
I don't
smaller.
know.
It's becoming smaller, that's for sure. But that's my point, right? So my point is to be able to force these companies into becoming a utility instead of becoming like a publishing platform. And I
The only
do
way
think.
that could happen, the only way that could happen is if we turn around and mandate those companies that are becoming a corner of the market of free speech, or not free speech, but corner market of communication.
Mhm.
If they're cornering the market in that manner, they need to be held accountable towards the at least the Bill of Rights.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least the Bill of Rights, bro. You have to fucking abide by the Bill of Rights. At least the First Amendment.
Right, right,
You know what I
right.
mean? Because there's multiple things under the First Amendment, bro. You know?
Yeah, so that's where I think the fight is for me when it comes to censorship, right? I think that trying to force these companies into being looked at and held accountable for everything that they're actually doing, as opposed to the ideal version of what they are, which is a privately owned business, right? Which the left loves to bring up. Stop complaining. This is a privately owned business. They're allowed to do that. I think that's such a BS excuse because they have such a huge control over the public discourse. So for me, that's the
And they
fight that I
sway the
want to fight.
election.
And they sway the election, which is ironic because if you were listening, I'm sure you were, to Jack Dorsey and Mark Zuckerberg.
Mhm.
Mark Zuckerberg said like 4 million people were registered to vote through Facebook, and Jack Dorsey in like maybe a minute later said that they didn't believe that social media had any impact over the election. Which is
Right.
like they're blatantly lying to our faces. Like they're
Yeah.
blatantly just saying like we think you're stupid. That's not what you're actually hearing. So yeah, so all right, so continue to walk me through the what happened to you. So your first strike was something about violence, which was like a fight that you filmed.
No,
Um,
so okay, so it was this video that was posted, right, of I'm not sure if it was Beverly Hills or by the Federal Building in LA here,
mhm,
and where this dude, I'm sure you've seen it, he jumps out, this big black dude, he jumps out, he starts spitting at this girl, Trump supporter girl, and
whoa,
so that video, my channel was already big.
mhm.
That video came out, and I saw it, and I know the person who took the video. Mind you, he's a POS, 100%. But I hit him up. I emailed him. I said, "Hey, send me the video if you want me to post it, so I can make it go a little bit bigger, a little bit more viral."
Mhm.
So he sent it to me, and I posted it up. Later on down the road, he got into an argument with somebody I know, got pissed about the video, and decided to strike my channel with that video, saying that I stole the video.
Whoa.
And I
Okay.
have I had the whole conversation screenshot. I have the emails. I did all that.
Right, but it's not
You know
like
what I mean?
big tech even cares about that, right? They're just trying to remove the video because they're not going to go into the weeds and look to see
Oh no, the
who's.
video's still up though. You could because it was retweeted after I posted it. It went like crazy viral.
Right, right. Okay, so then other people started posting it. It wasn't just shared from your page.
Right.
Okay, so
And then
then.
so they took that down and they gave me one strike, right? Team, right, last year. And I had all of 2020. I didn't get any, bans or strikes or anything like copyrights or anything like that. And then right before the election, I posted that video of Trump with a beautiful Trump tribute,
Mhm.
and they banned me for that social distancing thing. And then that was for a week, and then I got banned for no, that was for 2 weeks, I think. I got like struck like back to back,
Okay.
right? I got struck back to back,
Now,
and
when you got struck, was it like you got the mark saying that you couldn't post, or were you not
right,
allowed
I
to
couldn't
access
post
your
for a week
account?
the first time.
Okay.
And then I couldn't. Then the second time I couldn't post for 2 weeks,
Oh
and
wow.
then the third time they just took it down. Now they
Uh,
just took down my channel completely.
oh, so your channel is completely gone. You can't search for it. It's just not there anymore.
Right, my backup's up now, but
Wow.
I gotta. Bro, I have like almost 200 videos. I gotta start reposting them, and
Wow, that's extreme because from what I know, most people can't get into their accounts, but their stuff is still there. Or if their channel gets stopped from being searched or searchable, at least they can still access their channel, right? So it's rare that they would do both, that they'll
oh
remove your
yeah, no,
channel
they
and
just
remove
completely
access.
deleted it.
Wow. And no word from them. Have you tried to reach out to them at all?
Oh, of course I appealed it, but there's nothing that what you know there as short of coming to get a lawyer and hitting up their legal team and going through that whole process.
Right.
There's no way to fight it.
Right. Which is what they almost want you to do if you have any chance of getting your channel back.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, it's not even that. I don't even think they care. It's like, all right, well, we're gonna do this, and you can't stop us. If you get somebody to fight it, we'll fight it back.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I didn't do it for the subs. I didn't do it for the views. I don't do this for the clout.
Right.
I do this because I want to go out and make a difference. And if that's one person that watches or a million people that watch, it doesn't matter.
Right.
As long as it helps one person out and see the truth and expose the facts and help somebody make up their mind and make the right decision for themselves and their family, that's all that matters, bro. That's the point.
I love that, man. I think that's so true. And I think that's one of the big differences between a lot of the content creators on the right and then the content creators on the left. The left is really doing things for clickbait, right? They're doing things for ad revenue. Whereas people on the right, most of the people that I know that are creatives here on the right are not getting paid at all for any of this. They're really just doing this because they feel like people need to know the truth. And to me, that says
Yeah,
a lot. The amount of or the lack of salaries that are being given to right wing journalism, it just says a lot about the truth that goes behind it. Um,
yeah.
I do
What's
think.
even
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was gonna say what's even worse is that would um so okay, a little quick shot of background on what I came out. I'm originally from South Florida,
Hmm.
moved out to California 2016, and I started doing stunts. I was in the movie industry doing stunts,
Oh, that's so.
and and was doing good. I mean, making good money, like getting gigs, stuff like that, whatever. But nowadays, you only get hired for stunts in the stunt industry in Los Angeles, basically through Facebook. You know what I mean? And so
Oh,
I have a lot of pro-Trump posts and stuff like that when I started, being a Trump supporter. Um, and then I stopped getting callbacks. I stopped, they pretty much blacklisted me. So
wow.
I had to figure out something to, do and make money.
Yeah.
So I put together my channel, and when I did it, like I said, it wasn't even to make it, it was to, eventually make money, but it was to you know, do something that I felt like I wasn't just working for somebody. I want to go out and make a difference and work on my own terms. You know what I mean? And for me, coming from being an ex-gang member, drug dealer, user, been to prison, you know what I mean? Like, God brought me to where I'm at today to make a difference and use my voice. And He didn't bring my channel all the way up that fast to just let it go out. So I'm never gonna stop. You know what I mean? No
Right.
matter how much they censor me, no matter how much they push through, whatever the case is, and try to block me out, that is not gonna stop me from going out in the streets, from going out there and giving people a voice and keep popping up. You know what I mean? And I think that was my point was that was my only source of income. And now that they took my whole channel down, now I have to scramble to figure out how to feed and take care of my rent, and you know what I mean, stuff like
Right.
that.
Right.
But
Absolutely.
I have childlike faith in God, man. Like, no matter what happens, God, I know God protects His children, bro. At
Yeah,
the end
man.
of the day, He keeps His promise to never leave nor forsake us. And if we keep it, true with Him, He's gonna keep it true with us. And like I said, I have a childlike faith when it comes to God. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it bothers me. Do I go through my moments and thinking about it? Of course. It's human nature.
Yeah.
But what keeps me pushing and what's not keeping me on the couch right now, depressed and all down and, hating myself or hating life and just so angry about it. You know what? I'm not angry. I'm at peace right now because I know God is going to guide it. Whatever happens, God is going to take control,
I
and I
love that,
have to
man.
let Him do it.
I think you're so right, and I do think that there's good opportunity for creators like you and like me. Now that things are getting to this level, there's going to be people who are in the private sector that are going to be willing to finance replacement media is what Ben Shapiro calls it, right? This new media that's coming up that people are trusting more and more because the mainstream media has lied to us for so long. So I do think that there's going to be new opportunities. I know the Daily Wire is doing stuff where they're going to be partnering with PragerU, and they're going to actually be doing like movies and stuff now. So who knows? Maybe you'll get a gig in a Daily Wire production doing some stuntman stuff, you know. But
Be dope.
are you on Patreon? Are you in anything like that? Because I feel like that'd be great for you.
Yeah, I have Patreon. That's the point on Patreon. If you can look it up, that's the point with Brandon. I'm not exactly sure. It's on my phone, and I'm doing the Zoom from my phone right
Yeah,
now.
well, you just send me the info, and I'll add you in the description. This way, people can find you.
Yeah, I'll send you all my social media links
I love it,
because
man.
I got I got Parlor. I just started the YouTube back up. Um, I have TikTok. I have what is it called? Rumble.
Oh, right, right, right.
Yeah, I have Rumble, and then I think that's it.
Are you on Clapper?
Oh, I just made a Copper account. Yeah, I did.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm on Clapper
So
as
one of
well.
those, those chicks hit you up on Parlor. They're like, "Hey, come join. Da 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 da. We can get you a blue check mark."
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, "All right, cool. I'll do that." And then like, what do I got to do to get the blue check mark? They're like, "Oh, well, you got to put a lot of content. You got to let people like you. You got to have subscribers." I'm like, "Damn, well, it's just like anything else." It's like,
Yeah, it's
and I
funny
was like,
because
I laughed at them.
I
I was
reached
about to
out to
delete it though.
I reached out to Clapper a while ago, a few months ago, and I guess they were still so new that they were like, literally just make an account and I'll verify you. And I was like,
Yeah.
sure, all right, cool. So I got verified within like literally within an hour, and then I just
Yeah.
got like 2,000 subscribers in that day. So, Clapper is a place that you maybe we should start investing into because it is like the new TikTok, right? They do need
Mhm.
some UX or UI updates, but other than that, it's pretty dope.
Yeah. 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 I like how it is like the TikTok platform without the duet.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, man, I don't want to keep you too long. I love that you were telling me your story. I definitely want to have you back, but I will say this. I will be going to Silicon Valley, hopefully beginning of 2021, to protest censorship and just take it right to their front door. So I would love to have you on our side, man, and just,
Yeah. I'll be
anything.
out there with you then, bro. We'll set it up. Just send me the dates and all that, and I'll tell you where I'll be at, and we'll make it happen.
I love it, man. Is there anything you want to plug, anything you want to shout out before I let you go?
Yeah, guys, make sure that you check me out on Parlor. That's the point, PB, at That's the point, PB. Check me out on check my website out where you can buy a bunch of this merch. Where I got That's the Point hats, where you can help us fund That's the Point to get back up and running. That's the point with Brandon, the whole thing. That's the point with Brandon.com. I know it's a long ass title, but it is what it is. You'll never miss it. It's called That's the Point with Brandon.com. Check me out there on my website. I got a bunch of videos that are banned also from there. My my Rumble is at That's the Point pretty much everywhere. My TikTok is Proud Boy TTP. And yeah, guys, make sure that that you're sharing. Like I said before, make sure that you guys are hitting this like button, share, subscribe right now, because if not, then the none of this counts. So we need you guys, as much work as we're putting in, we need you guys to do as much work with sharing and getting the word out, because word of mouth is the best marketing. So
Love
that's
it,
the
man.
point.
All right, brother. Thanks so much for taking the time. Stick around. I'm gonna stop recording, and we'll take a little chat.